Portal D'Ø Îňfêřňø, Bugs Bunny, Disemboweled, the Laura Ipsum and or bang splatting used to evade censorship on YouTube. Back in 2019, actually much earlier than that, but it's rather hard to find the first instance of it. I'll include a Google Trends for it. An Arabic title would show up on YouTube, and it was "A woman who claims to be the Virgin Mary as married to Christ," which is Christ marrying his mom, done in Arabic. Now, this is a title that is nonsensical, very unlikely for someone to type by accident, and would make a nearly perfect search string to look things up that could be memorized in a specific language, typed almost exactly correct, and would probably lead to YouTube's algorithm and search engine utilities for Google being able to correct it to the most common typing, so you'd find what you were looking for if you were using this as a universal resource locator of sorts to get Google, Bing, Yahoo, or whatever search engine to find content that's exactly that string. Because once it gave you the suggestion, you could put quotes around it, except Arabic is kind of difficult to do that with unless your computer's running Arabic version of Windows specifically. You could then find a bunch of content that has that as a search engine string for search engine optimization bypass. This is anti-SEO, and yet it is also search engine optimization. On YouTube, it works particularly well because it has to handle multiple languages, and it's pretty good about handling converting back and forth, which means if you type in the English language version of it, you might find the Arabic language versions too. This would allow you and your friends to share information back and forth using a title that cannot be flagged for any form of violation of terms of service, and that's why it was used in 2019 or even earlier. I can't figure out how early this was done, but at one point someone wrote that as a title of a video for some reason. Someone saw it in Arabic, noticed it only had one example, and grabbed that randomly to use to post creepypasta. Videos with pseudo-disturbing imagery, photoshops, shock sites, jump scares, and music. A woman who claims to be the Virgin Mary as married to Christ sounds like a typo, but then again, that's our English translation. This comes from a long history of people typing certain things into YouTube or Google or anywhere else once a search engine existed that would have only a few people know about what to type in. If you know what questions to ask the great oracle, you find the same answers as your friends. Now, the latest one starts off with 4 periods, although you will see versions with 3, and then a bunch of characters from a different language set, and maybe in Unicode. This will be included in the video description for maybe 24 hours after that. I'm going to blank it. It should be noted that in the past, your YouTube channel could get flagged and punished for, quote, gaming. And they would refuse to tell you what they were talking about because they use that word for people uploading video game commentary and stuff and being flagged for copyright reasons, which is not what they were being flagged for. They would say it was gaming, or gaming the system, using search engine optimization in a way to abuse YouTube's search bot. Now, I should point out that if you use that Arabic language statement, in and of itself, it can't get you flagged. It shouldn't. And it did get channels taken down if they used it excessively. Having one video on your channel like this probably won't be a problem. Unless it starts trending, in which case they will come back and flag you. The original person who posted either the video or the website content with this is not known or may have been removed, even though what they had typed was simply a silly error. But one of the reasons this works is, if you're not aware of it, the English language method for loading things from top left corner to the bottom right of your screen isn't universal. We use characters that represent primarily sounds, but of course we have a bunch of words that don't sound the way they're spelled. Other languages don't use phonetics in any way. Some languages use purely symbolic lettering for concepts, and you can use any language to read it accurately. In fact, they use an almost more universal way of communicating because they use ideas rather than sounds, which can be manipulated or mispronounced. It's hard to mispronounce the idea of the number 1, for instance. 1 through 9 and the number 0, which is a later development, by the way, if you're not aware of it, are universal. That's why they're used in almost every language, simply because it's just counting numbers. Math is not really universal, but it's pretty close. Arabic, in this case, is typed from the person's standpoint in the order it should be in on the screen, but conceptually it may be stored in the backwards order. That's why if you try to cut and paste the Arabic one, it's more difficult. Unicode, however, will allow you to type it left to right or right to left and have the same meaning. And on YouTube, which has to be international, it will try to translate it 2 different ways, which becomes very important. And now we're at the point of what you were trying to look up. The string. 60 characters you're not supposed to type in because, ooh, scary stuff. It's no different. It could be used by some people communicating secret messages by then hitting sort by latest upload, and they could see the scuttlebutt in their little group. This is a lot like the group that posted a comment, would you like to join the Legion, as a string to look up. It's a raid on YouTube or a raid on Google, or Google whacking, where you're trying to get something to trend that has no business being trending, or an attempt to get news stations to say you're hackers on steroids. They do not forgive, they do not forget. You should have expected it. Anybody old enough to remember or understand why I just used that reference knows what this is. This is essentially people trying to do this for entertainment value. And as stated at the beginning, Pøřţãł Đø Îňfêřňø, the portal to hell, or the portal to the fire, YouTube channel that may or may not be there anymore, with a Bugs Bunny image that looked gory, is an example of one of them that was presented as an example in a recent video about the string. Now, the entire string is accessible if you look it up on reddit.com r conspiracy, N-O-P-O-L, no pol. I guess Polish people are out. No, it's no non-politics. Comments, S7N628/comment/HTBMFEP/. Why am I going to have that as the second title in the video, or the first string? Because it lists it with one of the characters missing. It's missing the leading period or dot, as they call it. Or is it? And yeah, that's it. Why would I do that? That string is unique. It was auto-generated by Reddit. You can use it as a title in a video or a first sentence in the video description to make it very easily found on YouTube and on Google. Even if Reddit erases it, it will become a permanent, non-flaggable tag until YouTube decides to flag it, of discussing the subject. That's the first reference I could find where someone typed out or cut and paste the entire string. This string, again, being Unicode or whatever, can be cut and pasted by you or me without making an error. And according to the video that's supposed to be bringing this up, the dark side of YouTube, or the string you should never type in, or the dark side of YouTube hidden in the search, the person posted it and forgot the leading period, or did they forget? Next thing I want to point out is you could just type in a period at one time and YouTube would bring up a bunch of strange results. A default character you could, or title you could use in your defaults on YouTube was to put in a space or a period or a comma for the title of a video, because you could also tell it to ignore whatever file name. My video camera thing here, when it records, it can make me type out the name of it, which I don't want to waste my time doing, or it can just use the time and date stamp poorly. So I can find it and figure out which one was the last one I made. If I do 5 takes, I can take the last take, or maybe one of the others. But if I rename it to the title I'd like for my video, which may or may not be tolerated on my file system, because you can put characters into a title for a YouTube video, like the aforementioned Reddit listing, that you cannot use for a file name. If I give it a file name and upload it on YouTube, it will default, unless I tell it otherwise, to use whatever the video's name is as the default title, which is extremely helpful. Except if you forget to fill it in and just have it upload blind, auto-upload. So what people will do, like me, this is the advice I gave people, is tell the defaults on YouTube don't make it visible, and use a certain description, because I don't have a description embedded in the video. And as for the title, you could decide to say that the title should be a period. So when people would auto-post videos, but forget to make it unlisted, just make it auto-post and just give it the same name every time, because it doesn't change anything, YouTube will let you do it. They would upload a string of videos in a day, and then change the titles later. But for a short time, every one of those videos would be search engine optimized for the title period, or full stop punctuation, which is what YouTube would translate it to for every other language. So full stop punctuation, period, or default title became search engine optimized for several years once YouTube started making it a little easier for us to upload from cell phones or upload in bulk. They used to have a set of strings you could customize. Then they removed it because people started typing in, I guess it was Perl scripts or whatever, so it would start running utilities. It would hack your computer. But for a while, you could make it to where it was the time and date stamp, period. Or, like I do, a default title and description. I actually have it as a blank title now because using the file name makes it to where I can figure out which one I uploaded if I upload 3 in a day. So let's review. Number 1, most of these weird rabbit holes are caused by the defaults on YouTube or the defaults for your cell phone using the same standard or a pattern for uploading video titles, descriptions, or whatever, or the website, or other. And it also can be caused by you using a utility that uploads onto many sites at the same time to mirror them and causing errors or whatever. One website that doesn't exist anymore would let you upload a video, and if it had a screw-up, it would title the video a specific error message that was really obscure, but that became the title and it became very, very search engine optimized because everybody's video said basically error file not found or something stupid like that for a while. The Arabic title was somebody cutting and pasting something that looked reasonably obscure and cryptic. It's not encrypted, just cryptic. Cryptic. Welcome to the crypt. And the rabbit hole of the period was that was the default upload on many channels. It just hit the dot or the comma. This is also called bang splatting. And again, people would sometimes use this as a way to hide what's in the video, but make it really easy to find once you found the first one. And then last, YouTube did this themselves for a bunch of videos to test their own search engine. So people started using their search engine test string. And of course got accused of gaming the system or just the obscure gaming. And last, I want to point out lorem ipsum. This is where you put in a default text and default title for something to test, formatting in software, and also in the old days for formatting a book or magazine work. And that was used in some books as you'd open a page and you'd see, you can't unsee it the first time you've seen it, a lorem ipsum page. Okay, somewhere in it you compare the lorem ipsum to the original, look for the differences, and you'd find hidden code. This coded language or hiding your Easter eggs thing is not just a tradition in illegal and immoral activity on the internet. It's a hobby. Most of you are into it. A lot of people buy video games or play them just to find the Easter eggs. Duke Nukem, Level Lord, what the hell are you doing up here? My favorite example, which was carried through to just one note like that. What the hell are you doing up here on top of a building above alien cows in the video game Unreal? Last, hopefully the last minute. This is not a rabbit hole into anything illegal, immoral, wrong, or a violation of YouTube guidelines. And yes, I will expunge and redact this video later because YouTube and Google are looking for every excuse to flag me, and maybe you, and this would be a really good one, because it sounds bad. This is an example of people posting stuff for shock value or to make a fun rabbit hole or alternate reality games yet again, and is not a sign of some evil corruption on the internet, and it's not going to become lorem ipsum gate or whatever. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And one of the methods for generating these extremely obscure strings is to use a video title in the address bar for this, and then the next one, put them end to end like that, and you have a truly unique string, and you can have fun with it. Bye.